Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another backtesting episode. So we're going to resume from where we were. We're going to fast forward now or skip forward to Tuesday of next week. So obviously this is Friday, where there was no trade. So we're going to skip to we're going to clear the charts, skip to Tuesday. We're going to allow Monday's price action as normal, as always, to present itself. Then we'll just quickly touch on the economic calendar and then we will get right into it. So first things first, let's clear the charts. Hopefully we can end the month with a positive trade. We've kind of learnt a lot during this month's worth of price action. There's certainly been a fair bit to take away in this month being key. But I'm just going to drop down to the hourly because it's a lot easier to identify where it needs to go. So that's 11 o'clock candle. So we're going to go to next day open. It's just quicker that way. Let's have a look. Would it just go out to the 4 hour? I'm just curious to see what happened on Friday. Yeah, so there. Yeah, we didn't. I mean, yes, with YM, certainly could have presented an opportunity, but yeah. Anyway. So we are at what's this? So next day open. So that should be Monday 6, and then we're into Tuesday. Okay, cool. So we want to go to the hourly, and we want to go to the next session. Oh, okay, maybe the next session after that, which is there. And that'll be fine for now. We can certainly we can certainly just see where we are, and then we can sort of go from there. So I'm gonna phase out to the weekly. Just want to have a very sort of quick look at the weekly, see where we are in relation to everything, and then we're going to get into our analysis and then hopefully see if we can nail a trade. So as usual, we've got to change that, so I'm going to have to clear. Oh, no, new NQ there. I like ES on this side, so we're going to clear that down. Okay, so initially, obviously, we've got this high here, which is an old weekly high. So we're going to mark that up. There we go. Okay. So we've got that high. We're clearly drawing towards drawing towards that. So I'm just going to reference that here, and then obviously on YM we want the same high. So we've got essentially a range there. I mean, these are the range lows. We can see the SMT which occurred down here as well, predominantly between ES and NQ. That was the initiator for this move higher. Okay, in fact, I'm just going to mark that up just as a reference. I'm not too sure. Just going to put that in there. Okay, so we have some weekly fair value gaps. I'm keen to see that candle there. Right, let's just use BPR for now. Okay, interesting. Okay, get rid of that. So I just wanted to drop down here just to so what did we have? Yes, this is certainly yearly cycle. We're probably looking at there. Yeah, so that's just quite a large SMT, but we'll just reference it on the daily. It's not that important to this analysis. I'm just referencing it purely on the basis that I just want to note that it's there, but it's nothing specific, and that was the initiator of this move higher, but nothing massively specific. Right, so if we get into the daily chart, want to see anything key. So from this perspective here, obviously we had on this candle the breakaway gap in there, bullish order block, it's confirmed, traded down into. Again, I don't use order blocks as my referencing tools in terms of bias and so on and so forth, but there certainly will be others. Candle there's key to an extent. So no daily imbalances as of yet, which is fine, but institutional order flow is clearly bullish. So it looks like a lot of the analysis is going to come from the 4-hour time frame. Okay, so let's make a start. Daily outlook, and obviously today is the 29th. So IOF, just want to make a note of what we see. So relative to the weekly and daily time frame, this is to the upside, which was initiated by the time frame SMT weekly. So naturally we would have a sort of bullish order block. Something that high there would have been key, so that high would have confirmed, in my opinion, the market structure shift to the upside here. Why this high? Because if you look to the left, you have this imbalance in here. That high repriced and rebalanced here, took the price lower, purged this liquidity pool here, and then set the tone for bullish prices where we displaced through this high, displaced through this imbalance and this high. That was key, setting the tone for bullish price action. Right, so initiated by the high time frame weekly bullish fair value gaps being repriced and rebalanced, or being left unfilled, and the market showing a willingness to reprice higher. Okay, that's the first thing. And we're also seeing old lows being manipulated and old highs displaced through. So that's all supporting. That is all supporting higher prices. I'm just going to add a little note into this here. It was initiated by the high time frame, SMC weekly at the lows, which was confirmed by the hold low purge, and the market confirming the bullish high probability OB daily coupled with the high probability market structure shift. Okay, so I just want to add that. You know, just for reference of this, we're going to note this. So if we look here, that's the liquidity purge. So we want a discount purge like so. That's not a discount purge, is it? That looks more like a discount purge. Okay, so we have that. Then we obviously had we'll just kind of keep it here, which would have been the bullish HPOB daily. No need to put the bullish on there, the plus sign, but I'll do it nonetheless. And then we obviously had this here. Do I have there you go, there, market structure shift, and that was due to that purge. Okay, and we'll just put a no, I don't want that. Yeah, I do. In fact, just want that on only on that time frame. Okay, and that's fine. Okay, so if we just transpose some of this onto here. Just for transparency. And then you can understand the narrative there. Okay, and then you've obviously got this imbalance here, which this high is the corresponding high, so that high being purged. Anyway, okay, so institutional order flow relative to the daily. So we just want to drop down to the 4 hour now, where and then we want to get more specific around this period. So if we look at institutional, we know to the daily, we know where we're drawing towards. So it's not as important relative to the 4 hour now. In terms of institutional order flow, we know from the high time frame we're bullish, so we can get to work around identifying key price levels. So for instance, you know, we want to have a look at, if we just do that, we should have a blue vertical. Let's try that one. Will it show? Yes, it does. Okay, so that's the start of the week. We can see how we gradually repriced higher. So there's no clear, you know, previous weekly low. We've obviously got this low here where we had SMT. between the 2 days, which we can certainly look at because that will be a catalyst for liquidity. So we're looking at this area in here. So we can certainly mark that. Just going to put that there. Sorry. And that would align to this here and that swing low, and then we had smaller SMT in there. Okay. Which would have been okay. So H4 rebalance here. We're looking at this one here, rebalanced. So gain traded down into here. What time is that? It's 10 till 2. Is that Friday? Oh, that's interesting, isn't it? Did I just miss this on Friday? Did I get my my alignments incorrect? Let's just put that there. Certainly looks like I did, because the alignment is here. It looks like I may have. That's the alignment there, which would imply then we had this. Curious to go and have a look at that and see. But we didn't. PM session. I'm assuming. Certainly could be wrong. Let's just go and drop down to the. And it obviously took out key liquidity as well. Right, I just want to have a quick look at this before we continue. What time was this candle? 11. So it would have been outside the trade execution window, but nonetheless, hourly liquidity purge here, which is what we want to see. Okay, and then let's just mark this on. We can take this off in a second. I'm just curious. Yeah, now I've seen sort of this price action. I mean, technically, OB, certainly no displacement. Okay, not that worried by it, but anyway, nonetheless, let's continue. Okay, so let's just put this correct. Okay, so continuing on, now we're gonna let's get our some of the key things that we look for. So this candle there. This is always a slightly longer video because I do a fair bit of the planning and stuff in this one, but hopefully you guys will appreciate how I top down the market. So naturally we got this aligned. Busy. And as you know, I only focus on not. Oh yeah, okay. So let's take this to. That'll do for now. it's clear we've got a lot more market sort of synergy between the assets. Okay, and we just want to okay, so there we go. And I want to note well, let's just get the highlighter as usual. We start here. Okay. Okay, and here. Not so, because we don't have it unilaterally across all of them. This is actually a different low compared to well, they all are. So opportunity possibly would have knocked on Monday, but that's neither here or there. Okay, so that's if I'm looking at so this is okay. So happy with that. So let's continue. So ERL, IRL. Right, just bear with me a second. Okay, we're back. So we're going to continue with ERL, IRL. So I want to go back out here. Let me just clean this up. See what that looks like. Better. Okay, so quite clearly we can see that the market is heading towards external range liquidity. So as obvious as it's presented here, that's what we're going to document, the fact that it's obvious as the liquidity draw, but at the same time we want to see the market trade into that, confirm it, and then if there is a view to then determining a new high time frame drawn liquidity, then we can frame that. But currently, with institutional order flow bullish, that is the logical external range liquidity or internal range liquidity pool as a high time frame draw. So we're just going to note that, although obvious. But, you know, stranger things have happened where the market's reversed a few points before and then, you know, continue lower. But I doubt it without one of them at least purging that high. So, following the high time frame displacement, the market is appearing to target the old high weekly external range liquidity as the next high time frame DOL. Following the purge of that key price level, I will then re-evaluate. To determine the next potential high time frame DOL. Okay, so that's what we'll focus on there. Okay, so we're going to leave it there. So now on to SPs. Dropping back down to the 4 hour. Keen to know, do we have any clear? Okay, so I've noted the clean and clear swing points below the marketplace. Referencing the previous day's low. Referencing the previous day's low, which has formed below the true week open key price level. And apologies if you can hear radio in the background. I think someone's got the radio on a little bit too loud, so the microphone may be picking that up. If you can't hear it, great. If you can, I can only apologise. So which has fallen below the true week open key price level. Where, if purged, would support an high probability trade idea for longs. Not guaranteed, but certainly possible. Okay, so TO, currently all members are above. Currently all members are trading above their respective true week open. So just want to reference that. It doesn't necessarily, I mean, it would represent an opportunity for high probability shorts if coupled with a high time frame Kraken correlation. Present the opportunity for high probability shorts if coupled with an high time frame Kraken correlation at the highs. Now again, it's not necessarily what I'm anticipating, but it certainly is an opportunity. So I'm just going to touch back out to the weekly. I just want to just check something. Yeah, well, that's fine. daily. So I just want to mark this because I want to see what that is on the 4 hour. Okay, so it's looking at this, which would be Friday. Okay, so the catalyst for higher prices there, potentially. So just want to reference that, which I believe would be this. And that. Okay. And would be so certainly more clearer on ES. But I wanted to note that just because it is quite key, and it purged H4 liquidity. But it's Monday, so it doesn't matter too much. But it just gives us the context for higher prices. So TO, and also it presents the Kraken correlation piece. So I've noted the high time frame Kraken correlation, or no, SMT at the lows with YM, which led to the market repricing, or in fact not repricing, market displacing higher during Monday's PA. This could support a continuation higher, seeking the liquidity above the marketplace. Okay, so that's a possibility, as potential. We'll have to see what forms. We will just note this key price level here, which and because all markets are aligned, we can actually look at that across all three of the assets. You know, if YM, which it can be, was decoupled, then would concentrate on the two which are aligned. Right, so let's keep this moving. So now would be down to game plan. So before we get into game plan, I'm going to go to the hourly. We're going to move this on to the next session. Here we go. So it's 7 o'clock. Perfect. We can see, obviously, ES has purged that high. So we've got the New York, the Asia range low. Yeah, for some reason I can't arrange. Yeah, that's all you get. Okay, so let's mark up some key time-based liquidity pools. And we can see what's happening. So we've got, obviously, this Asia range low, which we're just going to double up this level. because I think it's important. We'll go as far as there, and we'll do the same with YM as well. Just want to make sure we have that. Okay, so that's Asia. There was an imbalance here, but as we can see, and yeah, no, there was an imbalance there that got rebalanced, so that one's key. So we're going to mark this up. Okay. And then we'll mark the same thing up on ES, but we just got to note that with ES, it's extremely thin. Oh, not as thin as I thought. Where we can see that the market rebalanced it, so you know that's key. Okay. So now bear with me. Okay. So now this high would essentially be the London high. Right, so that's the London high as well. So now we can start looking at what game plans that we're thinking here. So obviously we had the high time frame. Let's just pop back out to the 4 hour. We had the Kraken correlation on Monday. We've had this displacement higher. So obvious initial game plan one would be the high time frame Kraken correlation at the BCH4, where the market would trade below the true week open and support high probability trade idea for longs. Okay. Now, two could certainly be the market. Well, if we go out to the daily, it's probably a little bit more obvious. So that key price level there, the weekly. Actually, no, tell a lie. That wouldn't represent a trade idea for me. I'd need to see something more. So we have that now. So that's the obvious model that I'm looking at. Let me just go see some parameters. So currently we're above the true week open. I guess if the market was to displace through the London high to continue to higher prices, so that could be, yeah, that's certainly an opportunity. Apologies, I think somebody's having some work done outside, so you could probably hear some high-powered machinery. Okay, so with price above the true week open, if the market was to displace higher on an hourly basis and then form low time frame correlation at the imbalance, this could support a continuation higher to the short-term highs. Okay, so I think they're the only two that I'm going to be really looking for. Okay, those two models there. So next thing I want to do is just drop down to the 15. The purge of the London high, if that occurred, would not necessarily support a move lower. However, if that high turned into a H4 swing high, then maybe I would look at something short if we had that purge, but would have to see confirmation of this candle to confirm that swing high. Okay, so as mentioned, we have news. So we've got jolts at 10. What am I doing? What time's that? Okay, 10. And then we want the volatility prior to that from never understand why that seems to do that. It's just bizarre to me, that is. Look at it. How bizarre is that? Thank you. Okay, so we've got our time stamps in. So I just want to double check the hourly again. Do we have liquidity pools below the marketplace? Well, we've got this one here, which I'm going to mark up. That is not that one, but certainly that one. Could well be classified as something important at a certain point in time. Okay, so let's keep this rocking along. Okay, and then there is actually, but again, it's not aligned, so I'm gonna leave that for now. This one though, because I think that was the Kraken correlation here. There we go. Okay. Well, then we've got Asia. So Asia would be the main aim. Okay, right. So let's go to the 15-minute. We'll work towards 8:30 and change that to the 5-minute, and let's just move that across. Oh. There we go. 15-minute. We'll speed this. Oh, look at that. There we go. It's interesting, isn't it? Some little subtle improvements. Always nice. Okay, so let's play on. So we're going to work towards 8:30, somewhere around here, and then we'll go from there. We can see obviously that ES has purged this high, but that's not going to be the catalyst for me to see a move lower. I'd need to see some form of high time frame crack and correlation at the high. Any shorts would be we haven't got any shorts per se, but the BISI would be key. Okay, so let's play through, and then we'll drop down to the 1 minute. Wow, how quick is that for... Alright, let's just drop this down to number... Bloody hell. Okay, so we've seen a purge of London, but again, this could just set the catalyst for price to come lower, and it's before market, so let's keep it going. Okay, so now all of them have purged, which is a sign. We're going to go out to the hourly, see what we've got. Potentially, let me just move this out the way. Oh Lord, what are we doing? There we go. So I'm going to mark this BISI up, but obviously we know it's not confirmed. Okay, so before this could get scratched, but I just want to know visually that it's there. So that's why I'm going to mark this up here, and then we'll see if the market retraces back into it. So in addition to that, we want to, well, I don't want to do anything yet until I know it's been confirmed, and that'll be confirmed at 9. So news embargo is going to be lifted. Oh my god. Look at that. Okay, so that's the news embargo. Well, it's very likely that that BISI is going to be confirmed. Very, very likely. So just going to put that in there. Okay, so nothing yet. Certainly NQ repricing higher, which is what we want to see. Let's see if we get an opportunity. I'm going to stick with the... In fact, we're going to drop down to the 15 again. I'm going to drop this to the 1 minute, and then we're going to sort of play through. Will take a little bit longer, but I think it's just better. We want to see 9 o'clock to confirm whether 9 o'clock will confirm whether we have that BISI. Okay. Okay, so we do. So that's interesting. I'm going to jump out to the hourly. We're going to use the 5 minute now. Again, we could see a new SIBI form here, but that would take us to the 10 o'clock candle. So we'll just monitor time, but I'm going to be monitoring the equities open first and foremost. That's what the market wants to do. I've got a feeling it's just going to expand higher, but we'll see. Okay, there's equities open. Market has expanded higher, hasn't really presented any opportunity to us yet at all. Yeah, nothing as of yet, which is a shame. Yeah, which is a real shame. During the New York session, we haven't seen anything. We're likely to see this form. Let's see. That's interesting. Drop down to the 15 just so I can get a little bit more. And I want to go to the 1 minute chart because I want to see the 15-minute candles form now. Okay, so that's the 15 form. Unless we're going to trade down into this BISI here, we don't really have anything, or I certainly don't have anything to present. Okay, I actually do want to go down to the 15-minute now and the 1 minute because it's getting a little interesting. So obviously equities open. We've got the high impact news coming up. Okay, so that's the news. Drop back out to the hourly. Small imbalance here, but as you can see, the imbalance was that we didn't have an imbalance here. So I'm not. I would be making the assumption if we're going to trade low, it will be into the aligned. So let's see what happens. But you know, the markets are looking quite bullish at present. So we'll continue to see if we get something to. Okay, this is interesting. I want to just jump out to the hourly. What time? No, not yet. Candle's not confirmed. Okay, so potential now with YM. So I'm just going to mark unconfirmed. So potential model 2, not certainly certain. Just noticed my monitor's a bit off. I think that's better. Okay, so one reason why I don't like this, gotta be honest, on ES and NQ, there's no 15-minute liquidity purge. And that for me is is a problem. So let's continue and see what happens. Okay, so we know that this is out now. So I just want to jump back out, take a larger look at what's happening. There is another model which I didn't document, which is essentially the if the market trades below the, and we have a Kraken correlation at the SSL AR, that presents an opportunity. A long way to go, but let's see, because price would be back below the true week open as well, so that supports that idea. So let's see what happens. But currently, there's nothing, I believe. Hold on. Actually, let's not get too hasty. I'm just going to keep monitoring this. See if we get a rejection. Potential at the mid-level. But as I said, it's no M15 liquidity pool. I'd need to see some of this go, and furthermore, let's just check the hourly. It's fine as long as the hourly doesn't close below, I guess. But no M15 liquidity purge is problematic for me. What time is it? Okay. No displacement on the M5 as we can see, and as I said, no M15 liquidity purge. You would need to see price trade close above this level here before would even contemplate a move. So quite a way to go. Let's continue. That possibly has certainly confirmed the order block, but we still don't have any M5 displacement, so at NQ no displacement, still nothing. Approaching the end of the trade execution window, but we'll hang on a little bit. NQ certainly looks like he wants to trade lower, but you know, stranger things have happened. So we're approaching the end of the trade execution window. We still no imbalance, aligned imbalance. You know, NQ has created this, but there's no aligned imbalance on the M5. So starting to see some displacement again. You know, I have rules that I'm extremely committed to, and with no purge of liquidity, it's it just yields low probability conditions for me. So if this could go, I mean, we're certainly seeing the rejection. Oh, we're seeing such a strong rejection. I would have certainly preferred to have seen well, let's see if we get a closure above this level here. Just gonna mark this in. Have I? Oh, hang on. Oh, you know what? Let's move that for. There we go. So, just gonna put this as high probability zero buck M15 question mark. We don't know yet if the market's going to purge that high. So let's see. We're still on the M1, that's fine. So we're looking for the next 15-minute close, which will be the 11 o'clock candle. Okay, so 11 o'clock candle is closed. Obviously NQ is still below that price level. So now, in my opinion, the probabilities of the trade have dropped off. You know, I want to say significantly, but not necessarily significantly, but they have dropped off in terms of the probability of the trade now being outside the trade execution window, but we'll continue. Do we have M5 displacement? Well, not so on. I mean, we've got it here, which supported price higher. We have displacement on NQ, so, you know, to answer the question, yes, we do, but now we want to see the next 15-minute candle. Oh, actually, as we can see, that didn't close above there. So let's see the next 15-minute candle. Let's trade it down into its order block. So no is the answer to that currently. In my opinion, it's low probability. The M15 liquidity purge would have been significant to support the trade idea higher. There isn't, so I'm not keen on engaging on anything here. What we'll do is I'm just going to play this out till lunchtime and see if we get that move above and closure. But I'd probably now look at framing something a little bit more consistent. So for instance, it's very likely that this low will form, although that wouldn't necessarily represent something for me to engage the market with. So I'm just going to mark that in. In actual fact, is it? So it's there. No, that's not the lows, that one. Pretty certain the low is that one. Let me just double check that session. The beginning of the sessions. I think they're 6 hours. I think it's 6 o'clock. Yeah, 6 o'clock. So that would mean this low is the session low. And 7. So a little short-term SMT there. We've obviously got this H1 as well. And YM's got that same time-based, and naturally, now I don't particularly like having a lot of liquidity pools. And if you're looking at ES there, look at the close proximity of these two. Kind of tells you it's going to purge that one if needs be. Yeah, this wouldn't necessarily be something of interest for me because it's above the true week open, and if I'm going to take a specific model, I'd want this time-based liquidity pool below the true week open to support the trade. But again, you know, other scenarios may exist which presents opportunities, right? And besides, we'd need to see what I didn't mention is YM's the divergence, which means we need to see the confirmation also on YM before. You can't use YM as the divergence and then to confirm the divergence you use two other assets. So it's actually kind of nullified with either ES or NQ. We can take one of these with YM, but we need YM to confirm that order block. So we're going to go till the lunch period, see what happens. Again, we need YM to confirm before we can support the idea of higher prices. YM nor NQ have. And we're getting up to the lunch hour. So we'll see what transpires. NQ has, YM still hasn't. Oh, sorry. And there we are. So that brings us to the end of that session. I'm going to leave it there. Unfortunately, it didn't present a trade opportunity. We did frame our models. We did look to try and engage, but unfortunately, we're unable to do so. The market just didn't present the opportunity that I was looking for to engage as it pertains to my trading style and my models. So nothing here. We'll come back and have a quick look at the PM session, but I'm not looking to do anything within the PM session. So we're going to now, when I come back, we'll move this on to Wednesday. But hopefully you took something away from this session. It was a really interesting one in terms of framing and stuff, and hopefully you took something away in terms of the top-down analysis and how I kind of get to frame what I think may occur in the marketplace. So with that being said, I'm going to leave this one here, and I will catch you guys in the next one.